Okay, I seriously need to talk about a topic that's been bugging me for quite a while now, or more than a while. So you know bullying. You know when you see people being called fat, ugly, or all of that in school, and you know that they go through so much just because of those two words or whatever words they're being called. There's a word that nobody has ever really touched on that has actually affected a lot of people, and it's quite commonly used in today's society. So this word is called slut. Imagine if someone came up to you and said to you, "You're a slut," and they don't know you. Isn't that like, they don't know what you've... Okay, the definition of slut is usually somebody who has frequent sexual activities with multiple people. Let me emphasize on the multiple people and the sexual activities. So I can speak from experience, and obviously I'm not going to go through the whole story with you because it's a long story and, you know, I'd be contradicting what I said in the last video. But in year 7, when like on my first couple weeks, I got a name, and this name was Slut. The reason I got it was because I fancied a boy in year 7. Pretty much everyone knew. I had never even kissed a boy because I went to a primary school with all girls. This was shocking, and like, I can't even emphasize how that affected me throughout until now. I had been called a slut throughout my whole school life in secondary school, and I'm still in the same school and I never moved. So yeah. People don't know how the word slut can affect your life, especially for people who aren't sluts, and usually the people who do get called sluts aren't even sluts whatsoever. I think people use it too casually, and that word can actually really affect people and really hurt people, because a slut is somebody who has sex with multiple people or sexual activities with multiple people, and it's like, if you don't, no. And also, like, hearing about people who are pregnant, who have had sex about once in their life, or have one partner that they have sex with all the time, they get called sluts. Really? That's their personal business, unless you know that they're going around like every week having sex with different boy or doing different stuff with different boys, then they are probably the definition of slut, but a lot of people don't do that. And the way that the word slut is being used is, the word slut has damaged not just me, but it's also damaged my best friend. And I know that for a fact because we're people who have been called sluts for no valid reason for a long time now, and it's affected us. So my best friend's in the room now, if she would like to come along. Hey slut. I have a friend, and she gets called a slut literally every day, like 24/7. She's homeschooled obviously, and she's expecting in a week, just saying. It takes one time having sex to actually get pregnant, if you didn't know that. She's not a slut. She used protection, it didn't work, and now she's pregnant and she's going to be an amazing mother. That doesn't make her a slut, so why would you call her a slut? I know another girl who has had sex literally like one different guy each week. That is a slut. I'm not gonna say her name because that's a bit rude, but that is a slut. The fact that I was called a slut when I was 11, that's like year 7, and ditto. I hadn't done anything except I had a boyfriend, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, you're a slut." I didn't do anything with him for a very long, we didn't kiss for like 10 months. That's not a slut. I was not a slut. I was in year 7. I was the ugliest child. Just because I went to an all-girls school as well. 3 years, and I got called a slut on a daily basis. I got called a slut to the point where I got text messages, like literally I still get them. Every day I get text messages from people, random people I don't even know, with blocked numbers calling me a slut. I get phone calls, people going, "Oh hey," I get people in school. If I'm not with Marina at school, Then she was on an art trip on Friday, so I was alone at school. And some kid, I don't even know, starts calling me a slut. They just shout scat at me or what? Seriously, that just happened, just randomly. And they don't realise that it actually seriously affects like people like us, like people who aren't sluts. This is not a fact, this is being abused for something we're not at all. If you are a girl who has sex every single week at least, or every 2 weeks with a different person, if you are like under 16 and you've had sex with 20 guys or something like that, that is a slut. And if you have sex and do not care about it, and you don't use protection, and you just go out and have sex with people, that is a slut. Someone who has sex in a relationship, someone who has sex like very rarely, someone who gets into situations they can't do anything about, rape, people who get raped aren't sluts. That is not a slut. Why are you being called a slut? There are people who have been raped once and they get just called a slut because they have no control over something. So obviously they're sluts because they have sex, but they didn't choose to do that. That is not a slut, basically. Everyone one day is actually going to have sex. So somebody who has had sex maybe once in their life and they're under the age of 16 or they're under the age of 18 does not make them a slut either. For a fact, if you don't have sex by the age of 40, that's going to be a problem for you. Yeah, see, that's quite ironic. The fact that if you have sex too young, you're a slut, but if you have sex too old, then you are a loser. I don't understand that. They even made a movie about it. Exactly. If someone's pretty, also, they are not a slut. She gets called a slut because she is beautiful. That does not make her a slut. She doesn't do anything. Same with her. This applies for Hanukkah as well. Same. But seriously, you're jealous of that girl, okay, fine. Be jealous, be like, oh, I don't like her hair because you want her hair. Do that stupid thing that girls do. But don't call them a slut just because they're pretty. If a girl is wearing a top and she has cleavage, that doesn't mean she's a slut, it just means she has big boobs. A slut is a damaging word, just saying. It really is. It may just be worse than calling someone ugly or fat, because a slut can actually damage your life, and I'm pretty sure there's people out there who've been called a slut when they're not, and then they turn into sluts because they've been damaged with that word so much. So they're damaging their life just because of name calling. The difference between slut and ugly and fat is, say, ugly and fat are physical things. Slut is a label. You get called that and it doesn't leave you forever. Even if you can be a virgin all your life, you get called a slut once and that will not leave your mind. Like, she's done nothing pretty much, and apart from like kissing, she got called a slut and it's been with her for years, and she's literally the most innocent person. I know. Also, being called ugly and fat is very, like, don't get me wrong, that's bad as well, but the thing is with ugly and fat is that you can get rid of fat, you can lose weight, you can... Every girl is beautiful in their own way. I mean that. I can find beauty in absolutely everything, and I always try to, and I do. And there's such thing as makeup as well. There really is. Like, girls can put on makeup and make themselves look so much better. Just, it's magic, okay? Those are things you can sort out, but slut is something you can't. So don't call people a slut. That's a warning to everyone. Of the story. Don't. If you do, you will get a lot of anger from her. I don't know how to rephrase it. We will stab you. Let's just put it like that. With pencils. Okay. I didn't want to use sharp objects. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope that you've think twice about calling somebody a slut even though it comes to your head, and please, 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 please make this a word of, because it's very overused and shouldn't be used. So thank you for watching, and subscribe to my lovely best friend here. Subscribe to her as well if you come across her, because don't know. She's a cool person. If you have views on this, we can agree with you and we can talk to you in the comments. I'm sure she would love to reply to you in the comments, and so would I, because this is a strong topic that we are...
I was about to say, we both feel very strongly about this.
Very strongly. Thank you for watching. Bye!